Ep.5. Okay, they're calling this one all This Murderous Power. All right, so last week y'all know Bob the drag queen got banished. All right, and he left with all the dramatics. He actually reviews the show, so if y'all can find him on YouTube, he actually well, at least I saw him reviewing the last episode. Um, but yeah, so he left, and they left us on a cliffhanger, and so this episode we have to start off with the Traitors meeting. All right, now, they had just gotten up from that round table where almost everybody voted for Bob the drag queen. But the interesting thing about that round table was Boston Rob, and Bob the drag queen having their back and forth, and him calling Bob the drag queen out. But the shocking thing for me was Danielle voting for Bob the drag queen was shocking to me. Also Carolyn, like, what are y'all doing? Like, nobody but y'all knows that y'all are traitors. So like, what are you doing? So anyway, so they just coming off of that. So in this traders meeting, this is their first meeting after that whole thing. So they probably all are. Well, I know Carolyn and Danielle are like pissed. Okay, so you could see the tension or whatever. I wonder how much of that conversation they edited out, because I know it was crazy because Carolyn didn't even let Carolyn like talk really in the beginning. Danielle and Rob had a conversation first, and so I keep calling her Denise for some reason, but she asked Rob for more communication, right? But really, in the back of her mind, she like, oh, I gotta get him out, all right. And so Carolyn is pissed. Both of them are not feeling Rob. So they talk about who they're gonna get rid of and everything, and they really can't seem to agree. But I guess they settle on Robin. Okay, they settle on Robin. Robin gets murdered that night. All right, but Danielle did say in her confessional that she planned to get Boston Rob banished. So how she's gonna go about getting people on her side, because now the traitors are divided. So they pretty much have, they're playing a social game or whatever. So it's going to be really interesting. But it's like a couple of groups in this whole one group. Like, because right now there's one group going for like Boston Rob, and then there's another whole group that's after Nikki, right? And so, anyway, they find out at breakfast that Robin is the one that got sent home. But Carolyn, I told y'all something is something about Carolyn, that the reason why nobody thinks she's a traitor is just that she just seems like she's just aloof. You know what I'm saying? And so she comes in to breakfast like she ran down the hall, up a flight of stairs, back down. She came in like literally huffing and puffing, and it was weird. And I feel like that raised some people's flags about her, because what are you doing? Why are you were out there with everybody else that just came in with you? It was a little bit weird, but maybe they edited it to make it look like that or whatever. But anyway, so they have breakfast and everything, and then they're talking to, different groups are talking to different groups. And so like you see the royal guy Ivar, he's talking to somebody, and he repeats the theory he repeats the theory about uh Boston Rob. The only way that he could have known that Bob the drag queen was a traitor was that he's a traitor. So Carolyn was there when he said that. And then Ivar actually goes and tells Rob what Wes said, right? So then Rob, I gotta give him his props. He's like, hold up, let me just go ahead and just confront it or whatever. He goes and talks to Wes, right? He pulls Wes to the side, and he's like, hey, this is what I'm hearing. Did you say that? Wes completely denies it, right? Like, he's not gonna look crazy when he watches this back, but in the moment of the game, like, he denied it. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. He said that he was complimenting him. So then Rob talks to Carolyn, right? And so he has to get the house on his side. And so Carolyn goes to talk to Danielle. Danielle doesn't trust neither one of them. And Carolyn don't trust neither one of them either or whatever. And now Danielle says she plans to throw Carolyn under the bus. So the traitors, like I said, are divided, right? This is how we looking in the house right now. Okay, so we've had 4 people banished. Wells is gone. Tony is gone. They were both faithfuls. And then Bob the drag queen is banished, and they got one traitor. He was the traitor. And then Nikki, who just went home this episode, she was also a faithful. So we got 3 traitors left. And these are the people so far that have been murdered. If I'm missing anybody, definitely feel free to drop in the comments and let me know. But I think this is it so far. So anyway, Rob, like I said, the traitors are divided, and Rob and Danielle and Carolyn are really trying to kind of just go for their own at this point, right? Danielle's just trying to remove everybody. So anyway, so they have their next mission, and Rob actually in the car told Nikki that Bob the drag queen thought that she was a traitor, but he was lying to her, right? But her face was so shocked. So anyway, so in this mission, they have a chance to win money and shields. There's 2 shields at stake. And so they have to answer these riddles, and there's all of these like jars on a shelf, and they have to pick one for the answer. And if it has gold in it when they break it, then they get money. If not, they don't get anything or whatever. But if they get it right, they get a chance to put somebody on the wall for a shield. So that's going, some people are putting themselves up there. Some people are like Danielle jumps up and tries to be like, oh, I'm going to save a housewife. And she picks Dolores. And it's like, you just making yourself look crazy. Like you're a traitor. So anyway, she just made herself look suspicious. But in the end, Ciara and Dolores got shields. And Ciara definitely needed a shield because some people think she's a traitor. So anyway, Danielle also tells Wes and Dylan and Ivar that she thinks Carolyn is a traitor. So she's outed Carolyn to them, right? So then we got this round table. At the round table, Rob gets called out by the royal guy Ivar. And then Rob explains why he's a faithful. And he's pretty convincing. Like he's really good at this kind of game, right? This is his thing. So then Nikki and Ciara, they think each other are traitors, and they have it out at the table. So Sam speaks up, which Sam hasn't been talking. He was married to Britney Spears for a little while, but he hasn't really said anything, and they haven't really included him, much of him in these past episodes. But he speaks up, and he's like, basically, if we're not gonna vote out Rob, I'm gonna be gunning for him tomorrow. If he doesn't get murdered or whatever, and then I'm gunning for him. So anyway, so then Bob H, I feel like some of these things that people are saying are unnecessary, but I guess, we don't know how long they were sitting there and until they got whatever takes they needed to get. But it's like Bob H talks about Boston Rob and how he could be a traitor or whatever, and it's just like, okay. But I mean, he has some points though. But so anyway, in the end, they all banished Nikki, okay? And she is not happy about it. And so they are looking crazy again because they thought that they had another traitor. So that's another faithful gone. So they start to mingle and stuff like that. And Wes and Derek they're talking about Rob again, okay? And so Wes and Derek are some great game players, we already know, but everybody needs to be watching Derek, all right? Derek just seems like he's there sometimes, but when it counts, he's ready to execute a plan, just like how he gave his shield up when he came in the house, right? Danielle approached him and said, hey, I need a shield, even though she didn't need a shield, but she said, hey, I need a shield. And he said he got her, and, they had the big brother in common or whatever. But when it came down to it, he went on a gut instinct and gave it to somebody else, right? So anyway, Derek is a tricky player, so they better be watching out for him is all I'm saying. But him and Wes are talking about Rob. And Dylan also, he told Carolyn that then Danielle threw her name out. So all of the traitors know that the other traitors are speaking about them, right? Because they've heard from other players. So they all don't trust each other. So, I mean, how does this go? If they get all the traitors, I can't remember what happens in that. I'm going to have to look back up. But the traitors, okay, so they have to have another meeting. And, of course, we get another fucking cliffhanger, all right? But it looks like Carolyn and Danielle might get into it at the round table next episode. So that should be interesting. But it's like, what if they blow up the whole traitor thing? What happens? I don't know. I gotta go back and look. Dang, I feel like I should know this. But anyway, again, this is what we have. This is where we've come so far as to who's been banished, who's been murdered, and how many traitors we have left in the house. All right. So get in the comments below. Let me know, who do you think is gonna go home next time? I don't really know who they should target. Like, what side are you going for? Like, do you root for the traitors or do you root for the faithfuls? Like, I root for the faithfuls, but at times I find myself, if I like the traitor, I'd be like, oh man, I want them to do good and stay concealed. So it's a back and forth or whatever. Because when Phaedra was the traitor, I really wanted her to do well in that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I can't wait for episode 6. I really, really am enjoying the show. The only thing that I wish that they would change is the murdered part. But, you know, it is what it is. It just feels crazy to say it back in commentary. So, I don't know. What y'all think? Get in the comments below. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.